a heavy dose, so start to write, because I'm going to be giving notes. I'm giving notes, so you take your notes. Otherwise, you're going to miss a lot.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Today is the 20th Sha'ban, 1439 after Hijrah. We are continuing the book Al-Wajiz on the chapter Fasting, page number 262. If the ill person or traveller do not find any hardship in fasting, then the fasting is preferred. If they encounter hardship, then breaking the fast is preferred. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri stated, we were on a military expedition with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam during Ramadan. Some were fasting while others broke their fast. Those who were fasting did not find any fault with those who broke the fast, and vice versa. They saw it as those who had the strength to fast would fast, and that was good. And those who had some weakness would break the fast, and that was also good.
Go ahead.
The evidence that menstruating.
Okay, stop. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. For verily we have stopped the last time regarding the person who is traveler and the person who is ill. And we said that the fast is compulsory upon the Muslim, the sane, the adult, the healthy, and the resident, and the woman she should not be on her menses nor her postnatral. So these are the 6 things where the fast would be obligatory upon this person. If one of them is not there, then it's not obligatory. So if he's not a Muslim, then it's not going to be accepted. So he's not an adult, it's not compulsory. It's saying it is not required because it's not going to be accounted for what he does. And if he's ill, then he's optional. If he's traveling, then optional. And if she's her menses or postnatal, then she will not fast. So, coming to the issue regarding the journey person, just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connected between the journey and the illness. He was being ill or upon the journey. Just like the illness is general, also the journey is general. Just like we cannot really define how much illness is required for you in order for you to have an optional fast, we cannot regard as well define what is the distance for the journey. So the illness that would, number 1, delay the cure. Number 2, would increase the pain or the disease or the illness, or the fear of so you're fearing that it's going to increase the pain, you're fearing it and delay the cure. Those 3, is one of them is there, then you have the option of breaking the fast. When we said Ibn Sirin has been seen not fasting one of the days of Ramadan, he said, my thumb was cut. So he had a thumb and a cut in it, and that cut made him have the option to break his fast, because he thought that the fast, or he believed that he thought that the fast will increase the pain or delay the cure, or the fear of one of them. Now, same thing with the journey. Just like we can't go to the doctor and say, can you just measure my illness? It's 50% upwards, then I will break my fast. If it's below the 50%, then I can't break my fast. There's no such thing. Same thing with the journey. What people call it a journey, it's a journey. And the journey at the time of the Prophet of Allah is different, definitely, from the journey these days. At the time of the Prophet of Allah, 3 miles would be considered as a journey. 3 miles now, you are within the border of your Bedford. Can't just say that you are making a journey into a supermarket, for example, which is, like on the outskirts of this city. You don't say I'm a journey because of a number of issues, that the city is expanded, houses are got bigger, and also on top of that, we have the transport had changed and made it, made the far to be well close. But regardless of how luxurious is your transport means, or the means of your transport, traveling is traveling. Whether the person is traveling to India by plane or a rocket, or his plane is traveling by foot. It's all of a journey, okay? So just like we had given the concession for the person on foot to go and break his fast, we give as well the concession for the person who is boarding the plane as well to have the option. But the question is, which one is better? He said that the person who is ill or on the journey, he does not find any hardship, difficulty with his fast or his illness, then fasting in his case would be better. Now that is controversial amongst the scholars. For verily, the Prophet ﷺ had said Allah Azza wa Jal, just like He hates you to embark upon His sins, same strength He likes for you to take His concession. So Allah giving you concession during the journey, during the illness, even the illness is not that much, is that Allah loves for you to take His concession. Just like He loves for you to take His obligation, or as much as He hates for you to embark upon His sins. But this is one hadith, and then another one, when the Prophet ﷺ, he went to Mecca to regain Mecca, and that is in the year after 8 after Hijrah. And he's going now, expectation is maybe could be a fight there. So it's not just a journey, there's what? A fight at stake as well, because he's going to regain Mecca, he's going to liberate Mecca. So he was going in Ramadan, and he was fasting. So he was fasting, he was on a journey, and remember the heat of the desert is unbearable. Okay, so yet he was fasting. So how can we now say that? If the Prophet said Allah wants you to take His concession, yet the Prophet doesn't want His concession. We could really arbitrate in this way. For verily the concession is the usage of it, is a concession. If the concession is going to be putting you into another spacious, then you just got to have you come forward, please. Leave the camera. I don't like the camera, I like you to come forward. Come forward. You need to. So the concession, if it's going to create more hardship, then the concession is not serving what is the purpose of it. What is the purpose of concession? To ease the situation, relieve the situation. So if I find myself, even though I'm on a journey, even though it is not difficult upon me to fast or not to fast, okay? And I found that if I take the concession, I'm not going to be relaxed, because I'm not going to be into gear when everybody breaks his fast, then I'm going to be compensating on my own. You know, when you find everybody fasting helps, isn't it? That's why the Prophet said he was fasting along with his wives during the month of Sha'ban. So the month of Sha'ban, his wives were making up for the previous fast. So the Prophet is helping them. When you find people fasting along with you, it will be much easier than you fasting on your own. So if you're going to break the fast during the journey, think. You're going to be compensating as soon as you finish Ramadan. Don't you ever plan that, oh, I will postpone it until December, half day. Half day is good. 9.5 hours less. Half a day. Don't you ever do that, unless you have a guarantee from the angel of death. You're going to live for that time. If you don't have a guarantee, sorry. You have to compensate as soon as you... So if you find it's going to be difficult for you, or not as going to be as easy, because you're not into gear. You're also into gear because you've been fasting Ramadan. It's like when you go to the gym, you get really the beginning, and when you heat up, start working, isn't it? Same thing with Ramadan. When you start your days, the first, the third, and the fourth become easier than the first and the second, because you're into gear. So once you break that gear, once you break that sequence, it's going to be hard for you to start that sequence. So to reconcile between the two, we say that concession is a concession. If the concession is going to create me difficulty and in hardship, then I should not take it. Prophet of Allah, he had fasted in the journey when it was really so much hot. He could be meeting a fight, yet he was fasting. He did not take the concession. So when is it do we say that the concession to be taken is better, and also it is just like Allah loves for you to embark upon His obligation, just like Allah He hates for you to embark upon His sins. He loves to take His concession if the concession is serving its purpose. That's what it is. When it's serving its purpose, yes. So if I find, for example, it would be easier for me to, to break my fast during the journey, and then while I'm free on my own, and I'll fast because I'm traveling with a group. And if I break my fast with the others, for example, fasting, then I'm going to be a burden on them. These people are going to say, oh, go on, for example, camp. Oh, by the way, this person is fasting. Don't really ask him to go and help because he's fasting. So it becomes a burden, basically. Do you understand me? Because he's fasting, and everybody's not fasting. Okay? So it will be a burden. Okay, well, we have to, as well, we can't cook in front of him, but I mean, he's going to be hungry, making him hungry, alright? And then when he comes in in the night, let's cook for him because now he's so tired. So basically it becomes a burden, people try to serve him. One of the Prophet was travelling with some companions. Some of the companions were not fasting. Some of them, they were fasting. When the Prophet asked him to camp and to make sure that the camels are saddled and all of that, who's the one who done that? Fasting or non-fasting? The one who non-fasting. Because the fasting was what? Exhausted. And the heat. So the non-fasting people, straight away the companions straight away and put the saddles and everything on. The Prophet said, ذَهَبَ الْمُفْطِرُونَ بِالْأَجْرِ. The ones who have broken the fast have taken the reward. They've taken the reward. Fasting people didn't take a reward, nothing. Because they're too tired, exhausted. They can't even lift up themselves, never mind to lift up a saddle and put in the camel. So the people who broke the fast took the reward. So if you are a person who's not going to be a burden, and you are powerful, you're not with a company, all your company, all of them, they are fasting like you, then in this case I would say fast, better. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ, he was fasting all the way until a place called Qara'u, and it was after Asr, breathe the Asr, and almost Maghrib, about maybe an hour, 2 hours maximum. People came to the Prophet, the Messenger of Allah. People are exhausted. People are so tired. يَتَسَاقَطُونَ, they're falling because of the heat. So the Prophet came out for water. And after Asr, only an hour and a half, he stopped for 2 hours, drank in front of everybody. Soon as they started drinking, all those companions, they drank really thirsty. Some did not drink. Prophet was told. He said, they are the sinners. They are the sinners. How can we be the sinners when we said it's permissible for you to fast if you are on a journey? Because the Prophet ﷺ, when he made that concession, the ones who did not break the fast, they saw that is not a concession. Do you understand that? Because of their adoption to this principle that should be a concession, because of that they are sinned. Otherwise, it's permissible for them to go and fast while they're on a journey. That's why Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, and this is the hadith I just read, we were fighting along with the Prophet in Ramadan. Some of us fasting, and some of us breaking the fast. So the person who is fasting will not go to the one who's not fasting and he would say to him, "You chicken, how can you not fast? Look at us fasting. You are a weak person." He will never say that to them. And the one who's not fasting will not go to the one who's fasting. "You extremist. Hola, how can you fast?" And with a concession. No? Each one has his own power. Same thing with the illness. You could be having the flu, and I could be having the flu. I could break the fast, and you don't have to break the fast. Mainly because my flu is not as severe as your flu. Do you understand me? So the flu is different. Or my flu is more than your flu, that's why I broke the fast. Or maybe my flu is bigger than yours, but I am stronger in body. I go to the gym, you don't go to the gym. For example. I'm not talking about myself, guys, I'm just saying, as an example. So you are a person who is fit, so you can take it. So it doesn't mean that if I got a flu, I break the fast and then you have to break the fast. Why are you breaking the fast for the flu? Because the sheikh had a flu as well and he broke the fast, so I'm really copying it. No, your flu is different from my flu, your flu is different from this flu. Do you understand me? So each person can, there's no such thing you could go to the doctor and please can you just help me, whether I could break the fast or can't. There's no such thing. There's no such meter where you got a level of mercury. Break the fast. You don't break the fast. No such thing. Journey is a journey. Illness is an illness. Prophet ﷺ one day, he saw lots of people surrounding a man. What's wrong with it? He's fasting. It was a journey. Heat. Can't take it. And people sprinkling water on him. And he's shade of the tree. And people are around like, he's fainting. So give him water to break his fast. Then he said, لَيْسَ الْبِرُّ الصِّيَامُ أو لَيْسَ مِنَ الْبِرِّ الصِّيَامُ فِي السَّفَرِ. It is not from the righteousness to break your fast in a journey. So don't you ever think you're going to be more rewardable if you fast while you are in what? On a journey, because people think I'm on a journey, difficult, if I fast I get more reward. You're wrong. You could be sinned, just like those people, or you're the sinners. You could be a burden, like Umar Khattab and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhuma. When the Prophet ﷺ, he brought this fast and he said to them to break the fast, he said, "Muslim, you fast." He said, "Okay, well, let the people then serve you." He was really upset. The people are going to serve them, they're going to help them because they're fasting, leave this food because for these people, because they're fasting, don't let them go and help us when they can't remember because they're fasting. Headache. If you're traveling with a group and you are fasting and they're not fasting, it's going to be a headache. Unless you don't show anything. That means, no people, even nobody can know that you're fasting. You are just like a fit. And you don't show them, "Oh, I'm tired, I'm fasting." Break the fasting. You got a concession. Even the person who is working hard work, he's allowed to break his fast. Let's say a person who works in a bakery shop. And this bakery shop is his means of living. He can't have another job. And he can't have days off in the Ramadan. And he can't have half a day. The job is his job. If he can't work, no money. No half a day. He has to stand in front of the bakery. You know the bakery, a big oven? Even if you have the extremest snow winter, you go into that, mashallah, extremely hot. So about if you're in the summer. You're cooking. You're cooking. I don't know if you know in the bakery. Massive heat. You go there 1 second, you can't bear it. So those people have no option, all options be closed in front of them. If they start their day and they collapse, they're allowed to what? Break their fast. There are in our country something called, that was a long time ago, maybe not many days, still, which is, let's say it is a life sentence with hard labor. Heard about this? Okay. Hard labor. That means while you're a prisoner, you have to build, for example, fences. You see the fences in Scotland, I've been walking miles there, up in the north. Miles and miles, and there are fences being from stones on top of each other. And I was asking, how do they? It's amazing, the stones, the amount of stones. They said they sell their prisoners before. They make them to up for the stones. Miles of stones, just like marking the land and keeping it separate from the roads. SubhanAllah. Imagine how many stones. And of course, different from the environment from here, nice, mashallah, clouds and green, or in the desert. Hot. You can't stay there for 5 minutes, never mind. So with this hard labor. Now there's no such thing hard labor. Hard labor maybe, they're bringing from 5-star hotel to 1-star hotel. That's the hard labor. In prison, that's what. There's no such thing hard labor anymore. Even the prison would complain that we don't have the latest game in PlayStation. That's the latest one. Okay. Right. So we know that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, it is not from the righteousness to go and fast in the journey. That's, if you understand that now, so you are able to understand which is better for me to fast or to break the fast. If I find any hardship in fasting, then I would take the concession and break my fast. If I don't have any hardship, I'm on my own, I'm not really causing any burden to my brothers, and I'm fasting, and I think it's going to be so much inconvenient for me to go and fast on my own to compensate, and fasting is better because the Prophet fasted was what? On the journey. After this, we go to the menstruating women and postnatal. Go ahead.
The evidence that menstruating and post-patron women do not fast in the hadith of Abu Sa'id, in which the Prophet ﷺ said, it is not the case that when she menstruates, she does not pray or fast. That is the shortcoming in her religion. If a menstruating or post-patron woman does fast, her fast is not valid, as being free from the impurities of menstruating and post-patron bleeding are from the prerequisites of the fast. The woman also has to make up those missed days of fasting. Aisha radiallahu anha said, we used to menstruate during the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and we were ordered to make up the fast, and we were not ordered to make up the prayers.
Right. So women, if they had their menses, then they're not allowed to fast. If they're having the post-childbirth bleeding, they're not allowed to fast, which is the blood that comes out of the birth. If the woman, she's not cleansed before Fajr, she may not fast that day. So if her blood stayed until after Fajr, even moments, she cannot fast that day. And if she was fasting that day and the blood came moments before sunset, then that day is well invalid. So she has to be from Fajr to Maghrib, no blood. She could, no problem, have postponed her wash, her ghusl. As soon as the menses woman she finishes and the postnatal woman as well finishes, she has to have what? Ghusl, in order to have her prayer and intercourse with her husband. The ghusl. And that ghusl, if it happens to be, she took it after the Fajr, no problem. So her blood stopped before Fajr, and the ghusl she made it after Fajr, no problem, that day is accepted. But as I said, it's not allowed for her to have intercourse or pray until she has the ghusl. And she's been divorced, which is a revocable, reversible, reversible divorce, which is not a divorce, a third one, nor it is a divorce because she had asked for it, it's called khul'. And that is a divorce we call reversible, that she has to stay in the iddah. And the iddah is how many? 3 months if she menstruates, or 3 months if she does not menstruate. So if she menstruates 3 menses, she's still his wife, and he's not allowed to drive around to her home. She's still his wife. They inherit each other if they would want to die. They'll die. So if he divorces, she stays for 3 menses. What I'm concerned about here, the 3rd menses, when it comes, she's still his wife. If she finishes, she's still his wife until she has the what? The ghusl. Once she has the ghusl, then the 3rd menses, after the ghusl, she is a stranger. She is not a wife of his. Do you understand that? So the ghusl as well defined with the time of as well. But she's not allowed, for example, to delay it more in order, I'm not going to have a ghusl for 2, 3, 4 days. In order to give more chance for the husbands. No. That ghusl she could delay it as much as she can have the next following what? Prayer. No, prayer. So let's say that she had her menses stopped 7 o'clock in the morning. That means after sunrise. Okay? After sunrise. So she could postpone it until what? Her dhuhr prayer. So she could be until dhuhr prayer. If, for example, she wanted to pray dhuhr at 3 o'clock, she had her ghusl that. She's still his wife until she has the ghusl. Okay? Fine. You understand that now, alhamdulillah. And then we go to the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha with a woman. She said, no, I haven't asked it. When I go to go ahead. Woman, she came to Aisha. He said, oh Aisha, how come is it that when we menstruate, we are commanded to compensate for the fast, and we're not commanded to compensate for the prayer? Now this woman, she's a woman, she did not come to basically set a problem, but she thought like this. So Aisha relied upon her. She said to her, are you Haruriya? Haruriya is a place where the Khawarij went to. I mean, you're from the Khawarij. Of course she's not from the Khawarij. I'm not from the Khawarij. It is like this. That at the time of the Prophet, when we menstruate, we're commanded to compensate for the what? The fast. But we don't compensate for the what? The prayer. Why did she say that you're Haruriya? Because the Khawarij, they use their what? Aql. And expose the text of the Quran onto the aql, and they start to manipulate it or interpret it according to what their aql is. Why are you Khawarij like this? Khawarij. She said, you just don't argue. We used to make menstruation at the time of the Prophet of Allah. None of us asked, Messenger of Allah, why we're not really compensating for the prayer? We're only compensating for the fast. What did? They submitted. Do you understand that? They submit. And that's how they won and conquered the hearts of the people. Because straight away they submit. They don't say, why we are not asked to compensate for the prayer? They didn't. Because the Prophet said this. That's it. No argument. That's why she said that you from the Khawarij. So she learned her lesson the hard way. Now, following that, what is incumbent upon the old man, the old woman?
What is a victory upon the elderly and the terminally ill? One who is not able to fast due to old age or some other reason does not fast and instead feeds one poor person for every day. Allah has said, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامٌ مِسْكِينٌ. طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٌ.
That's it.
And as for those who can fast only with difficulty, they are to feed a poor person for every day. Atta narrated he heard Ata narrated he heard Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu read this verse and then say, it is not abrogated, it applies to the elderly man and elderly woman who is not able to fast. They are to feed one poor person in lieu of every day of fasting.
What is this? Basically, it talks about those people who could fast with difficulty. Old men, old woman, person who is not an old or man or an old woman, but he's got chronic illness which makes him what? Weak. A person who's got permanent job, remember like that person who's got extreme job all the time, is weak, he can't fast, those can be included. Those are the ones who cannot fast except with difficulty. And it's been like a long term, like an old man, we don't expect him to go and be a young man, is it? Going to be from old to older. The person who's got a chronic illness, that means an illness which is a long term, is diabetic. He is got cancer. So if he's got cures from this, then khalas, he'll become like a normal person. But once he's diagnosed with that, he has the option, which is that he will not fast, but he has to pay the fee. And he has got no option to compensate by making the day. Do you understand that? He's got no option to compensate the day. It's either he fasts, which he can't, or he pay the fee, which is feeding a poor person for every day. After he said that he had heard Abdullah ibn Abbas interpret the Quran, reciting the following verse. And that is, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامٌ مِسْكِينٌ. At the meaning of this verse, and the one who are able to fast, then they could pay a ransom, and that is to feed a poor person, and they don't have to fast. This ayah was revealed at the beginning because Ramadan was optional to everybody. شهر رمضان, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. أيام معدودات. فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام. وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين. So it was an option. It was not compulsory. You could fast and you don't have to fast. So if you are able to fast and you don't want to fast, you pay what? A ransom, which is feeding a poor person. خلاص. وأن تصوموا خير لكم. But if you fast, it's better for you. So if you fast, it's better for you. Now, this ayah, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, even though there's another ayah comes from it after, which is شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. That is this month of Ramadan, that's it. If you witness the moon, you witness the month, then it is compulsory upon you to fast. He said this ayah is not abrogated. Which ayah? That the ones who are capable of fasting, then let them pay a ransom and they don't have to fast, is not abrogated. How? That this ayah now is implemented on those old people, men and women, and those who have long-term illness. Do you understand me now? So the ayah is not like you think it's abrogated, cancelled. Abrogated means what? Cancelled. No. The ayah is still there. The month now becomes compulsory, but it does not abrogate the ayah. The ayah now, it will translate as follows. And for those who are able to fast with difficulty. That's all. It's not abrogated. So we added the word what? With difficulty. The one who are able to fast, the old man is able to fast, but difficulty. With difficulty, then they pay a ransom, which is fidya, feeding a poor person. Same thing with the one who's got chronic illness. Same thing also, al-hubla wal-murda. Go ahead.
The pregnant or nursing woman. The pregnant or nursing woman who does not have the ability to fast or fears for the health of her child may break the fast. Feed a poor person, and then she does not have to make up those days of fasting. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, an exception was given for the elderly man and elderly woman. If they found it difficult to fast, they could break their fast if they so willed, and feed a poor person for every day of fasting. They would not then make up those fasts. This was then abrogated by the verse which states, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. So whoever of you is present at his home must observe fast that month.
And by the way here, abrogation, please put partial. Because Abdullah said he said it's not abrogated. Remember the hadith before? It's not abrogated. It says called partial. Partial abrogation. What is the abrogation here? Is the cancellation is only for the ones who are fasted with no difficulty. But the difficulty is still there. Now, partial abrogation. Now,
however, it was reaffirmed for the elderly man or elderly woman if they did not have the ability to fast, and for the pregnant or nursing woman if they feared that they could break their fast and feed a poor person in lieu of every day of fasting. It is also reported that he said, if during Ramadan the pregnant woman fears for her health or the nursing woman fears for the health of her child, they may break the fast and feed one poor person in lieu of each day, and they do not make up their fast. Nafi' said, one of Ibn Umar's daughters was married to a man from the Quraysh. She was pregnant and would become very thirsty during Ramadan. Ibn Umar told her to break her fast and to feed a poor person in lieu of every day.
okay. So the pregnant women and the breastfeeding women, it said if they are fearing for their children, what fearing there has got no meaning. It's just been put there not as a condition, because all women are fearing for their children. When they breastfeed their children, they are fearing they're not giving in the full food. When they're pregnant, they are fearing that if they fast, they're not giving the full food. So the fear is there. So it is a word which has been put to explain the status, but it's not as a condition. So the fearing is all women that fear for the children. So she has the option, either to fast or not to fast, but she pays the what? Ransom. Is she able to compensate for these days? That is a negotiable. But you could see her like the old man, the old woman, she hasn't got the option to make up. She has to what? Pay the fee. So the daughter of Abdullah ibn Umar, which is Umar Khattab, her grandfather, when she was thirsty in Ramadan and she was pregnant, he commanded her, break your fast, and then feed a poor person for every day, and you break your fast. He did not say to her, break the fast, and then later on when you're not, you're not pregnant, then later on you could fast. No, he said to her, pay the ransom. You feed a poor person. So she hasn't got the option of basic. If she could fast, you want to fast, she fast. Maybe the pregnancy is at its early age, 1 week, 2 weeks, it doesn't really affect. That's why she's okay. But if she doesn't want to fast, she has to pay the what? The fee. There's no such thing that she could compensate by fasting those days. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Now,
how much food is obligatory? It is narrated that Anas ibn Malik was too weak to fast 1 year, so he prepared a bowl of farid and invited 34 people and fed them such that they were satisfied.
farid basically is just like a soup dipped with some bread. Anas radiallahu anhu who had lived for 100 plus, almost 120 years. He, from one of the years, he got really sort of weak. So that's what he did. Because of his old, he couldn't fast. It was difficult. He did not make up the days because he's old now. You get from old to older, you don't get to younger. So he had called 30 people and gave them food until they're satisfied. So each one has a proper meal that would make him what? Full. Now Anas radiallahu anhu, he gave it at the end of the month. So after he had finished the days. So what is the best? It's up to you. You could fast a day and feed full person. Sorry, you could break the day and fast that day. And that particular day, you feed a full person. The following day, the same thing for another person. You could wait for 10 days and you feed 10 full people. You could wait for the whole month and you feed 30 people. But here, 30 people, we are not concerned about the number of people. We're concerned about the number of meals. So you could feed the same poor person 30 meals. Do you understand me? So if you're 30 days, you could feed 10 families if they are consisting of 3 members each. So it has to be, the most important thing is the meals. It's not the what? The poor people. So you could be feeding one person 30 meals, 2 people 15 meals each, 3 people 10 meals each, as long as you give what? 30 meals, which is 30 meals for 30 days. That's number one. Number two, the meal has to be given after the day is broken. So after the Fajr, so let's say for example, this person who's ill, chronically, or an old man, old woman, after the Fajr of that day, then he starts with feed for that day. Because after the Fajr of the day, he's not fasting now. So you could feed that poor person. It doesn't matter if you fed him in the morning, maybe he's this poor person as well as a weak person. Like him, you could feed him at breakfast. Alright? But it has to be after the Fajr of that day. You cannot feed and expiate or give the ransom of a day yet to come. So I can't, for example, at the beginning of Ramadan feed 30 people before Ramadan comes, or even feed 30 people or one person at the beginning of Ramadan for 30 days because I only had one day yet in Ramadan. So one meal will be accepted and the other 29 meals, it'll be like charity, but we have to do them again. And I remember giving always the example for my students that you cannot give the ticket and pay for your speeding ticket before you start speeding. You cannot go to the council, the policeman give him £100, this is what? For speeding. You didn't do speeding, well, this is, well, I'm planning to speed maybe next month. Planning. So, watch that camera, I'm going to plan the speed of that camera. They will laugh at you. So it's not accepted. Basically, the same thing here. It's not accepted until you break that date and then you pay the penalty. Exactly the same thing as the zakah. You may not pay zakah before your threshold had reached. Do you understand? Because there is no zakah on you. So you're paying zakah for what? Well, in case I'm becoming rich. In case I'm dreaming to have, inshallah, some money. So I'm paying zakah before I get to that threshold. Well, you can give that money and then you could be, for the following day, you could have that threshold, that zakah you pay, you can't for sadaqah. You have to pay zakah. You understand? Because you paid zakah before the what? You got the threshold. If you have the threshold, you could hasten paying the zakah, there's no problem. As long as you got the threshold. So you got the threshold, you could pay the zakah before the year is due. No problem. As long as at the end of the year of your threshold, that is the same calculation. If it is less, you have to compensate more. If it is more, you pay it in charity. But it hasn't reached the threshold. This is equivalent of the sun not becoming dhuhr and you're praying dhuhr before dhuhr. Do you understand? I'm praying before dhuhr, well, for the sake of dhuhr, you can't. The dhuhr has to come in, then you pray. Threshold has to come in before you pay zakah. You can pray nawafil before dhuhr, but you can't pray before dhuhr. Fine, go ahead.
The essential components of the fast. Number 1, the intention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ. And they were not commanded except to worship Allah, being sincere to Him in religion, inclining to truth. The Prophet ﷺ also said, "Verily, all actions are based on intention, and for every person is what he intended. This intention must be present every night before the time of Fajr." Hafsa radiallahu anha stated that the Prophet ﷺ said, "There is no fast for the one who does not make the intention to fast before Fajr." Number 2, refraining from
pillars of the fast. That means if you don't have these pillars, the fast is invalidated. Number 1, tension. Tension is of 2 types. Tension for the voluntary and intention for the obligatory. Intention for the voluntary, it doesn't matter, it has to be done before the night before. You could do it even as late as Dhuhr, before. So if this person did not eat from the Fajr, and 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, asks his wife, "You got food?" "No food, I'm fasting." No problem. That will be counted as voluntary. But if it's Ramadan or any obligatory fast, you're compensating for Ramadan, you're making a vow, you're expiating an oath, then has to be this intention the night before. That means before the Fajr and after the sunset the day before. So if I want to fast for tomorrow, obligatory, my intention now is not enough. Do you understand? So if I forgot, and then I didn't remember the fast, and then I went in the morning, should have your intention. You could fast but voluntary, you can't fast obligatory. My intention has to be after what? Maghrib tonight. For that day, for tomorrow. Do you understand me? After Maghrib and before what? Fajr. Prophet ﷺ, he said, "من لم يجمع الصيام قبل الفجر فلا صيام له." أو من لم يبيت النية بليل فلا صيام له. The one who does not make his intention before Fajr, there is no siyam for him. So, if you waken up for sahur, your sahur has the barakah, and you fulfill the sunnah, and on top of that, there is what? Intention. Because when you wake up, for that time, you wake up your wife, or your sister, or your mother, sure you're waking them up, you know that you're going to be doing fasting. Nobody will wake them up for nothing. You're going to be told off, it's for nothing. Okay? So, for those who have the sahur, no problem about them. But the ones who do not make the sahur, they are in trouble. Because some of them, they even don't care about fasting in Ramadan. Their days will be jeopardized. Now, this is the first thing. Second issue, in Ramadan, is it one intention for all the month? Or you have to do every intention for every night? So he says here, an intention for every night. So every night of the siyam, you have to have an intention before the Fajr, you've got to fast the following day. That's as well negotiable and controversial. But definitely the scholars who differ, they have something they don't differ about, which is that if you are a person fasting in Ramadan and somehow you broke your fast due to a legitimate reason, like you are on a journey and you are ill, and you want to renew now your fast, so you finish your illness, and you're going to start now in Ramadan, you have to renew what your intention. That's consensus, ijma'. But if you did not, you were in the same sequence from the beginning to the end fasting, that's where the scholars, some of them, they said one intention is enough for what? For Ramadan, but be on the safe side every night. Sahur, sahur. Alhamdulillah, that's the intention. We finished it. Second one, read it.
Number 2, refrain from anything that breaks the fast from the dawn of dawn until sunset. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُوهُنَّ وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمْ الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر أسود من الفجر ثم أتموا أتم الصيام إلى الليل. So now have sexual relations with them and seek that which Allah has ordained for you, offspring, and eat and drink until the white light of dawn appears to you distinct from the black darkness of night. Then complete your fast till the nightfall.
Right. Second pillar, which is the only two pillars anyway, attention to this, is to abstain from the invalidators or the fast breakers from the Fajr down until sunset. When they talk about it was always the invalidators or the fast breakers, they always talk about the materialistic one. But this book does not talk about the what? Spiritual one. Just like as you are keen to stop eating and drinking and making sexual intercourse, you're supposed as well to train yourself to stop from embarking upon haram, foul language, obscenity and all of that. For the Prophet ﷺ, he said, he who does not abandon falsehood and the implementation of the falsehood, then Allah does not need his fast. He doesn't need your fast. And also the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if I find a fasting person, his fast is only from food and drink. That means he's taking thirst and the hunger. That's all he gets. He does not get the reward of a fasting person. So if you are fasting, your reward is mighty. We talked about the virtues, if you remember. Allah is giving you a special one. It's not the multiple of hasanat.